Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a completely fascinating mystery behind the stuff we do every single day. We're talking about the architecture of hope, and specifically how those brightly colored apps on your phone are quietly mimicking the exact same dopamine loops as a traditional lottery. So let's just dive right in. 1 in 292 million, right? Those are the staggering odds of winning a typical national lottery jackpot. To put that completely wild number into perspective, your odds of getting struck by lightning this year are about 1 in 1.2 million. You are literally way more likely to be struck by lightning twice than to win that jackpot. Yet, millions of us stand in line every single week, happily handing over cash for absurdly terrible odds. And wait, the craziest part? If you ask almost anyone playing, they'll laugh and admit they know they aren't going to win. Now, the easy explanation is just that, well, we're bad at math. But the real reason? It's so much deeper than that. So why on earth do we actually buy a ticket when we know we're going to lose? Think of it this way. A lottery ticket isn't actually a bet on winning at all. Honestly, if you treat it strictly as a financial investment, it's completely irrational, makes zero sense. But as an emotional transaction, oh, it makes perfect sense. You're basically paying a $2 rental fee. It's this cheap, short-term lease giving you permission to imagine a completely different life before those numbers are even drawn. It's a few days where you get to vividly picture paying off your mortgage, quitting your job, or just traveling the world. And that brings us to this foundational concept from behavioral economists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky. It's called probability weighting. Look, humans just don't evaluate probabilities the way textbook economic models assume we do. We systematically overweight tiny probabilities. To our brains, a 1 in 292 million chance, it doesn't feel 1/292 millionth as compelling as a coin flip. It feels, well, possible. It's a precisely engineered exploitation of how our brains convert raw numbers into actual feelings. We are hardwired to fixate on the sheer magnitude of the prize, while our brains completely blur out the statistical impossibility of actually getting it. Now, you might be thinking this is some modern trick, but no, lotteries are definitely not some modern invention feeding off a new flaw. This is literally one of the oldest financial technologies in recorded human history. Back in 205 BCE, the Han Dynasty ran Keno-style games to help fund the Great Wall. In the 1400s, Dutch towns used lotteries for fortifications. By 1566, the English crown chartered one just to repair their harbors. For over 2,200 years, guys, that is older than paper currency in most economies. Governments have dangled this tiny, affordable stake against a life-changing prize, and they just let human nature do the whole shebang. But while the game itself hasn't really changed in 2 millennia, our scientific understanding of exactly who plays it and why changed drastically in the 20th century. Back in 1989, economists Charles Clotfelter and Philip Cook published this landmark finding: lottery spending is regressive. Basically, this means it eats up a much bigger chunk of income for lower-income households compared to higher-income ones. And researchers realized, hey, this isn't just a matter of financial literacy. It's because the emotional value of hope scales totally differently depending on how much of your daily life already feels under your control. There's this fantastic 2008 study out of Carnegie Mellon University that illustrates this perfectly. The researchers did something super simple. They just gently reminded low-income participants of their financial standing, basically asking them to think about their income relative to others right before offering them a chance to buy a lottery ticket. The result? Boom. Ticket purchases spiked. The lottery acts as a remarkably powerful coping mechanism. When your everyday circumstances feel completely fixed and slow to improve through ordinary means, the small, fast, high-variance chance at a totally different outcome, it becomes a disproportionately appealing escape route. Which, leads us to this massive, completely counterintuitive twist. We know we buy these tickets hoping for a radically transformed life. But does winning actually buy lasting happiness? Does snagging that massive prize actually deliver the emotional payoff we all firmly believe it will? Well, the answer is shockingly no. No way. And this is backed up by a really famous 1978 study by psychologist Philip Brickman. He and his team compared 2 radically different groups: major lottery winners and accident victims. Now, you'd expect their happiness levels to just be on total opposite ends of the human spectrum forever, right? But within a relatively short period, usually just about a year, both the lottery winners and the accident victims returned to their prior baseline level of daily happiness. They felt basically the exact same, day to day, as a control group who hadn't experienced either extreme event. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation.
You see, the human brain is just incredibly resilient. It recalibrates around almost any new reality, whether it's vast wealth or sudden tragedy, so much faster than our intuition expects. So ultimately, people aren't chasing the money itself. The lasting emotional high just wouldn't be there anyway. What they're chasing is the feeling of an open door, that pure, unadulterated possibility. And the absolute genius of the lottery is that it delivers that exact feeling the absolute second you buy the ticket.
All right, now let's pivot and look at our own daily habits. If the lottery is really just this psychological mechanic, a small, affordable stake for a low probability dopamine hit, well, where did the lottery go? Sure, the gas station lands are still there, but a lot of us aren't actually out there buying scratch-offs anymore. Yet, I guarantee you, we are absolutely still participating in this 2,000-year-old dopamine loop every single day. Because it's quietly moved right into our smartphones. Just think about it. Mobile trading apps, they're gamifying stock picking with confetti and these random free stock drops. Subscription cashback apps, they promise you surprise rewards just for scanning a receipt. Even your everyday food delivery apps are using scratch-off style promotions to, quote-unquote, see if you win free delivery. These are not just fun, innocent little design quirks. These apps are literally weaponizing the exact same emotional architecture Kahneman and Tversky described, pairing a micro-action with a disproportionately exciting, low-probability outcome. That thought, maybe today is the day, that is the engine of the modern app economy. To trigger that dopamine response, your brain doesn't actually need a literal paper ticket. It only requires the structure of one. So every single time your phone lights up with a surprise bonus or a spin-to-win discount or some rare in-app drop, that app is renting out the exact same 2 seconds of hope a state lottery has sold for centuries. It's the architecture of hope, fully digitized right there in your pocket. Which brings us to our final takeaway here. The gas station line, it hasn't actually gone away. It's just disguised itself as an app icon. You see, the lottery was never really a math problem. It's a hope delivery system. And today, it's embedded in way more of our daily digital lives than we ever even notice. So I'll just leave you with this. The next time you swipe open that brightly colored app on your home screen, looking for a notification or a sudden win, are you really just using a tool, or are you buying another $2 daydream? Thanks for exploring this one with me.